Hey guys, welcome back to IDK. Today we are going to be drawing trees. So let's get started. The first thing that you are going to need is a pencil. I believe that I chose a B9. I can't really tell, but yes. So the next thing that you're going to need is an eraser. And then you are going to need a pencil sharpener. I have mine in a small bag because the pencil shavings go everywhere. So let's go ahead and get started. So we are going to be using two different types of creating this tree trunk and tree. So the first thing that you're going to be doing is called cross-hatching. Cross-hatching is basically where you do a bunch of lines and then you go with another course of lines a different way, and that is going to be called cross-hatching. Now this is very valuable and we only use it in the trunk most of the time. So I'm just going to write that down for y'all. Cross-hatching. There we go. Alright, and the next one is scribbling. So you really do need scribbling because that is what you use for the tree. That improvises for the leaves, and remember, we're not trying to make this as realistic as possible, just to look like a tree. So that is scribbling. So the first thing that you want to do is create the tree trunk. Remember, it does not have to be one whole thing. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Make sure that it has like some loops and stuff in it, because no tree trunk is perfect. So let's go ahead and start with that. So now we're just going to do a little bit of cross-hatching to give it some more texture and some more shadow. But we're only going to be doing a little bit of that right now. And then we'll add on to that a little bit more during the end of this video. So let's go ahead and do that. And next we are actually going to be starting on the branches. So what you want to do is just go ahead and start doing some random lines and just like making it really like straight and weird, because we're actually going to be covering up with the scribbling technique later on. So just go ahead and like draw some triangles, go ahead and get some Y's or some W's in there and just create that shape. And just start with the big branches, and then we're going to move on to the smaller ones. So now we're going to start on the smaller branches, and as you can see, we're making some Y's, W's, V's, just a couple of lines, and then we're adding on to each branch just to give it a little more of a realistic feel. So you're just adding on little branches to bigger branches and stuff. So you're starting with the thick ones, and then you're going into longer branches, and then you're adding on with littler ones to make it more realistic. So next we are going to be starting the scribbling technique. So basically all you have to do is just don't go into circles, but go into like random little loops and sharp edges, and then you're just going to overlap each one with more and more and more layers to give it more of that textured feel. So as you can see, I sort of did some more textured layers off camera, but now we're just making the branches and stems darker so you can actually see them through the leaves. So now we're just sort of shaping the tree. So as you can see, my plan was to cut off the top part of the tree so you can actually see it in the real picture. But just remember, it does not matter how you do it. This was just my choice. So what I'm doing is I'm sort of getting that rounded shape, and I'm bringing the leaves to all the way to the top of the page and to the bottom to get that more of a circle-y but not circle feel, you know, like an abstract circle feel. So we're just going to keep doing this until we finish. So now I need to sharpen my pencil because it's getting really dull, because this puts a lot of work into the lead in your pencil, so you will have to do this once or twice while you do it. So again, I keep it in there so I don't get any pencil shavings on our table or anything. So for this next part, we will be using our hands. So remember, you do not have to do this, but I prefer to do this because then it gets like that color all over the tree, and that really like helps shade it in. Now this does get your hand really dark colored, but if you just rinse it in water, it'll come off right away. Just like rub it a little bit. And now we're going to work back on the tree trunk. And so what we're doing, you do have to do this part because it gives it more color, but as you do the cross hatching, sort of spread the lead that's on the paper with your fingers to give the whole tree trunk that like smoky shadow color. Remember to do a little bit on one side and then a lot on the other side, because this will give it the more shadowy texture that we want on one side, but then it also gives it that color that we need on the other side as well. So now we are going to start with the branches. So you're basically just doing the same thing that you did with the other side of the tree with the branches, but this time you're going to do some below and above from where you started at the tree trunk. So that gives it a little more 3D look, which is what we want. So you're just going to keep doing this, and then you're going to start doing some cross hatching later, and then you will use the finger technique to rub it in and give it more color. Remember to move the tree trunks up a little bit further so it looks like they're coming down from the tree and from the ground. And now just start cross hatching, and then you can take some color from the cross hatching, and then you can use it to do the finger technique to some of the others so it doesn't look too overwhelming with the cross hatching. Here is the finishing tree. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I will see you possibly this Monday. Bye!